Before I go into this, it's important to go over my history with this franchise. I grew up on and loved the original trilogy. It, of course, has its issues. The most obvious being some of the line delivery in the first movie.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
And the plot convenience of the Ewoks. But overall, they are some of the very best sci-fi movies ever and has earned the name the Holy Trilogy for a reason. However, since I've invoked that term, apparently people have started calling the Sam Raimi trilogy the Holy Trilogy. But Star Wars was the Holy Trilogy before those movies even existed. So I'm sticking with it. But I digress. I was 17 when The Phantom Menace hit theaters. I spent a long time after that trying to say it's just as good as the originals, but as time went by, I simply couldn't. Attack the Clones was somehow worse.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
And Revenge of the Sith was the best prequel yet, but still plagued with serious issues.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Then there was the anime Clone War movie that I never saw, but it's technically canon, so I guess I probably should. Anyways, that was it from Star Wars until Disney bought them and began producing new movies immediately. Kathleen Kennedy was put in charge and work for a sequel trilogy and spin-off film started. I am on the record for really loving both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Rogue One was solid enough, though it does have serious issues, and Solo was completely forgettable. The key here is that I am a big fan of the first two parts of the sequel trilogy, so why am I so disinterested in The Rise of Skywalker? If I like the first two, I should be the perfect audience for this third entry. What happened? The Force Awakens was released, and most everyone loved it while recognizing that, in many ways, it was a remake of the original Star Wars. However, it felt more like the original Star Wars than the prequels ever did. So, it was a welcome return to form. There were some open detractors, but overall people were positive on the movie. Then came The Last Jedi, and the detractors came out in droves this time. People largely love or hate this movie. It did a lot of bold things that people either thought worked or didn't. A Luke Skywalker that has turned his back on the Force. A Kylo Ren that has very much chosen the dark side. A Snoke that has no mysteries answered about him and is incredibly dead. A Resistance that is largely extinct. But a hope that the Jedi have been reawakened throughout the universe. These are surprising revelations, but I largely was not concerned about them. The reason for this is quite simple. In 2009, Disney purchased Marvel, the most successful cinematic universe in history. Surely, having Kevin Feige on your payroll would be an invaluable resource for Disney in launching their new Star Wars franchise. It was revealed that one process Feige would use to pick his directors is sit them down and tell them the things that need to happen in a movie and the things that cannot happen, and the rest is their sandbox to do with as they wish. If Kathleen Kennedy didn't know how to handle this franchise, or perhaps just wanted some tips, Kevin Feige would be able to give pointers on how to handle this. It even seemed to be going in that direction when it was revealed that while the main episode-numbered Star Wars movies would be tightly controlled, the spin-offs would give directors more free reign. Then a couple months after The Last Jedi was released, Daisy Ridley revealed in an interview that Rian Johnson did get notes from J.J. Abrams about his plans for Episode 8, and he ignored them. Again, I wasn't really concerned because surely Kathleen Kennedy has a rough idea on how the entire trilogy will play out, and as long as he followed that path, things are going according to plan. Then when Abrams was brought on board to direct Episode 9, he revealed in an interview with Vanity Fair that his approach for this new Star Wars movie is, fuck it. It's clear that he wasn't saying fuck Star Wars, but rather that he had no idea how to handle this movie and just decided he'd do whatever he wants because fuck it. Just throw shit at the fan and see what sticks.
When Kramer hears about this, the shit's gonna hit the fan.
This is troubling for so many reasons. It says that there was no plan in place for how to handle this trilogy. Say what you will about George Lucas. Once the original Star Wars was a hit, he put together plans for future movies. When you realize there is no plan, it really brings to the forefront the biggest issues with this new trilogy. The big victory at the end of Return of the Jedi seems so hollow now that it's been revealed that the war has just been ongoing for 30 years. And now they even have Palpatine coming back for this new entry, so they couldn't even kill off the Emperor. Plus, Abrams has shown a desire to move away from anything The Last Jedi presented. We've seen Kylo Ren reforging his helmet that he destroyed in The Last Jedi. What this means is that the people who actually like The Last Jedi will likely be disappointed with Rise of Skywalker. The people who hate The Last Jedi will probably hate Rise of Skywalker because many have decided this whole new trilogy of movies is just a failure already. This means Rise of Skywalker is being made for people who love all the Disney Star Wars films except The Last Jedi. which can't be a huge number. Looking at how things panned out, it really seems like Disney rushed out Star Wars without a good plan on how to execute it. No clear vision besides make money. And with the only clear vision being make money, Kathleen Kennedy was given one of the biggest franchises ever and no real direction on what to do with it. I'm not one of the many on the internet saying Kennedy needs to be fired. I've enjoyed all the new Star Wars movies to some degree except Solo, which wasn't awful, it was really just bland. But the planned break after Rise of Skywalker seems like the best thing for the franchise. Slow down and figure out what to do with this universe. The Mandalorian looks amazing. Honestly, it looks way better than Rise of Skywalker at this point, and I do hope Abrams pulls off Episode 9. I will be in the theater to see if they stick this landing at all. Hopefully they do, but if they don't, then at the very least, let's hope Disney and Kennedy learn from their mistake and know how to make Star Wars in the future. Something with a bit more artistic merit than dollar signs. Oh, and if you're interested in any of my theories about this movie, the footage really gives us nothing except for that Dark Rey moment, which means most likely she's a clone, and the Emperor will most likely be a clone as well, meaning perhaps she is somehow genetically related to Palpatine. This would actually be awesome story-wise, even if it flies in the face of Rian Johnson's origin for Rey a bit. Kylo Ren has a strong Jedi bloodline, yet chooses the dark side. Meanwhile, Rey has a very strong dark side bloodline, yet she chooses to be a Jedi. Either that, or it's a massive spoiler that has no place in the trailer, which at this point, who knows? Disney is probably more concerned with getting butts in seats than making a good movie, so it could be.
All right, now get out there and make me some goddamn money!
They think order and chaos are somehow opposites and try to control what won't.